everybody. I wanted to present to you my company, Standout Home Staging and Design, and tell you a little bit about what we offer, what we do, and what services we can provide for you. A little bit about me. I've been a designer for over 20 years here in the Reno Tahoe area. I co-founded Juniper Hill Furniture and Design about 20 years ago when we first moved to the area. And before that, I was a realtor in the Napa Valley. So I paired those two backgrounds and started Standout Home Staging and Design for our local area. On a personal note, I'm a mother of two beautiful daughters, if I do say so myself. I'm married to my college sweetheart. I was raised in Incline Village and St. Helena, so rough life there. And I graduated from Chico State with a communications degree, of all things. I've run several small businesses in my lifetime, and so I guess you could say I use a little bit of my right and my left side of my brain, both for myself and to help my clients. So the services I offer are both home staging and interior design, and they each take on a little bit of a different hat that I need to wear. So I'll start with the home staging side of things. So when we're staging a home, we start with a consultation. And basically, this is where we walk through the property and get a feel for the home, what the features are that we want to bring out, and what are some of the setbacks that we need to work around. If you're living in the property, I will provide you a written proposal or report of suggestions to get your home ready for the market. That could be anything from paint selections to moving furniture to just general, rules of what should stay out and how to accessorize and decor. All of the above. If the house is vacant, then I will give you a written proposal, which is very line itemed about which rooms we're going to stage, what kind of furnishings will be in them, and then an overall price for a 60-day staging of that property. From there, there's different staging services that we kind of drill down to. Once we're finished with the consultation, we can decide which is best for you. So the first one is the staging for the photo ready. And this is basically for a house that's already occupied and furnished. And I'm basically just going in and moving things around, editing things in and out, and generally making it look amazing for the photos. So if you were a model, you would be getting on the fancy clothes, putting on the makeup with the makeup director, those kinds of things. That's what we're doing for your home. If you are in a situation that you need additional furnishings, for example, I just did one a couple of weeks ago, and the master bedroom was quite large. They had moved some things into the new home, and so we just augmented with a bench and a rug and some accessories for the nightstands, and just, basically bringing it up to look the best that it could. I've also in the past, people need bedding, which is very, very common because it makes such a difference when you're photographing your bedrooms and spaces and you want it to look new and fresh. So because those are soft goods, we cannot rent those. So I usually buy those for you and then add those in with your staging. It makes such a big difference. In fact, the home that I had added the bench and the rug to had an offer within the first 2 weeks of going on the market. And it was in the higher end of our market here. So that was great news. In addition to those services, I offer staging for vacant properties. And this is pretty self-explanatory. First, as I mentioned before, we start with a consultation. It isn't always necessary to furnish the entire home. Usually we can just do the main rooms. And I always recommend that if there's a questionable room, if you were looking at pictures online and you were thinking, is that a dining room? Is that a den? What is that? I'd suggest staging that area as well. We don't want the buyers to have any question as to what they're looking at and what features the home has to offer. I rent the furniture and accessories for a 60-day period, and I also have a preferred real estate photographer if you need, and she's wonderful, and she comes in, works with me, we set everything up, and we get some beautiful photographs for your online audience. Also, there is an Airbnb home staging that I do, and this is a service that is great if you're doing a vacation home. You can earn up to 30 to 40% more bookings and in your daily rate if you stage the home. And I have noticed that many people decide, this would be a great home, our vacation home to also do an Airbnb with. And they kind of put in the old furniture and the old bedding, and that is really not to your benefit. So I come in, and really spruce it up and make it look amazing in not only in person, but in the photographs. And we really work on putting together stylings with what you have, purchasing new furniture and accessory packages. For instance, you may just need a bedroom and bathroom package where we get some beautiful bedding, some great sheets, fluffy white towels in the bathrooms, and then stage it. Makes a huge difference. Anyway, it's definitely something that I offer and love to do. It's very fun. Now, why do you want to stage your home? So here's just a example of the before and after that I recently did. Actually, I guess it was last summer. And the house was in great condition. The couple just needed to move to a new location for their job. And so what I did is, a couple of simple steps. We got some new pillows for the sofa. And they actually had a much larger rug that made the room look much larger and in one piece. So we traded that out, added some accessories to the coffee table, and switched out the cat tree for the actual tree, and then great photography. So that's one visual example of why it's important to stage your home. Let's look at some facts. The National Association of Realtors did a study a couple of years ago, and they've updated it last year, and everything stayed pretty much the same. And what they found is a well-staged home sells for at least 1 to 10% more than a comparable non-staged home. Now, that's a huge amount of money when you're talking of a house that's, 200,000 and above. So it's really, really important to think about staging as an investment in your investment to get a better price point for it. It also showed that a well-staged home spends 50% less time on market. Now, why is that important? There's a couple of very good reasons. One, the faster you sell that home, the less payments you'll have to make for your mortgage. The longer it stays on the market, the more likely it is to need a price reduction, which we do not want to do. And also, it goes stale on the market if it's on way too long. So those are just a couple of reasons of why it's important to sell the home quickly and at the right price. Now, 77% of buyers' agents said staging a home made it easier for a buyer to visualize the property as their future home, and 40% of buyers were more willing to walk through a home they saw online. Now, let's break this into two pieces. One, people have a hard time visualizing. I'm lucky I'm a designer. I do this for a living. I can see furniture and space and scale, in a room when I look at it. Although it is a little more challenging when it's online. It's definitely more easy to do when you're in person. So for example, this is a house that I staged last summer as well, and we've got a nice empty room. It's very difficult to tell how big the room is, how much furniture will fit in it, and exactly what room is this. So after staging it, very clear. It can easily fit, a sofa, a couple of chairs, it's the living room area, and it's also much more welcoming and inviting. So you're going to take those buyers that are looking through online, which is about 99% now, especially during COVID, and you are going to be able to show them the home very well when you stage it. Also very interesting is the buyer stays in a vacant house an average of only 5 minutes, but lingers in a furnished home an average of 40 minutes. Now, even yourself, you can imagine, you walk around, you take a look, okay, this is the bedroom, this is the bedroom, this is the bathroom. What's the excitement? There might be a view, so it might keep you there a couple minutes longer, but quite frankly, it doesn't do much for you. The other thing about a vacant home is because you don't have the furnishings and the, soft goods to add to the property and make it feel more welcoming, you also have a much more discerning eye now that are going to pick out a lot of the random details that really may not be that important, but will dissuade you from being interested in the property. So we staged this house up in Homewood, and it sold fairly quickly within the 90 days. And when you have a home that is staged and has furniture in it, you turn the sale from being a logical decision of this house is big enough, it's in the right neighborhood, it has the right schools, to more of an emotional buy. Oh, look, we can fit our entire family in here for movie night, things like that. The minute you change that into an emotional sale, you've got the client. And there's also many times that real estate agents will tell you they would like to sit down and write the offer in the home if possible. So if you've got a vacant home and so you have the time to do that, it's always much better. And again, that gets them buying in emotionally, really wanting that home. On the design side of things, I offer many services and many levels of services. So the first and foremost is interior space planning. This is very, very helpful also if you're just moving into a new home or if you're working with an architect and a builder on building a home, because very easily I can come in, use those plans, drop in furniture, and you can make sure before any walls are even put up how they work for the family, the furniture that you have, the plan that you have. A lot of times we'll find that if we lay out the room in advance, we know where to put plugs for the lamps and where you're going to put the TV, and make sure that, the shape of sofa that you want will work. I know a lot of times in a dining room, architects and builders tend to put the chandelier right in the middle of the room, which is somewhat logical. But if you have a buffet and that means the table is pushed out, 4 feet from the wall, you definitely want that chandelier over the table and not just randomly in the middle of the room. So doing interior space planning is very helpful, very easy, and it's a great service that I offer. I also do renovations and project management. I work with builders who are licensed to do the renovation. I just want to make that clear. I also work with model homes and new build design as far as staging and furnishing it, picking out some of the kitchen and bath, tile, flooring, wall coverings, all of those things are all included. And say you're interested in styling your home. You love seeing homes online and Pinterest, even staged homes and model homes. You want your home to look like that, but you don't want to move. You just want it to look like that. We can absolutely do that. It's called styling. We use some of your pieces. We can always go out and get more, which leads me into my service of designer for the day. This is a really fun service, and I've done it with several clients. They want to style the home. They want to get some opinion on, the tile and bath picture, fixtures that they've chosen. They don't need a full service design, but they do want some professional advice. So that's me, designer for the day, and we can do pretty much whatever you are looking for your project. In addition to that, I have a designer on call. And for example, this client that we did her room, she had an idea of what she wanted. She loves to shop online and go out, in her time off. So she didn't want full service, but she definitely wanted everything to work together. She didn't want to make any more mistakes. She bought a sofa before that was just, it didn't work. She hated it. She had to live with it for a few years. She didn't want to do that again. And so we did designer on call. So she would, text me pictures of things she was looking at. She said she wanted this green sofa. I found her the perfect one, so it's really a back and forth, but it's definitely a really nice service that can, go on over time. If you've got, a project that's done in phases, several different applications work for that. As I mentioned, I can help finish or source your finishes. So that's your paint or your tile or your flooring, or, if you need help. I have a client that they're working on putting in new wood flooring. So they needed some sources. They had some questions on, what direction to go as far as, which direction it actually laid in the room, what colors were good, things like that. I do custom window treatments and upholstery. Obviously, with my furniture background, I have lots of sources for furniture. Lots of them are custom, many of them are not. I work in all different price points, so that's definitely an option. Again, the shopping services, a day at TJ Maxx and a couple of the stores here in town for some decor and rugs and pillows. Very fun. And then, of course, paint consultation. So in turn, there's a lot that I have to offer. I hope that you can see there's lots of different services and levels of service that I offer. And I welcome you to my website. I have a lot more statistics on the benefits of staging. I have some great before and afters. And I've got some blogs that might be helpful if you're working on your own interior of your home. And of course, I would love to speak with you. So don't hesitate to call me if you have some questions or you're interested in something. And I'm very happy that you took this time to find out a bit more about Standout Home Staging and Design, where I invite buyers to move in and not move on. Thank you so much. Have a great day.